Welcome to Pod Destroyer episode 3. My name is Beardodoom and I'm here with MetalMance as always. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. I'm all right. Thank you very much. So it's been a couple of weeks since we recorded the last of our episodes with James from Mastiff. Um, and that's one
Wasn't
of
he
the
nice?
He was great. Yeah, really, really good. It was nice to speak to him and meet him, at least virtually. Um, And their EP was out yesterday, was it? No, Friday, I think it
Friday,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you listened to
Um,
it?
I have, yeah, I have, yeah. There's been a lot of music actually packed in the last couple of weeks. It's
It's
been a
been
pretty,
chocker.
yeah, really solid couple of weeks of heavy hitters. So, a good segue to what have you been listening to over the last couple of weeks, Metal Mance?
Well, Beardodoom. I've actually just been listening to a bunch of singles because I think this happened a couple of years ago where a lot of bands I really love. When was it? 2023, 2022. The same bunch of bands that released albums back then are suddenly releasing new singles now, and I'm
Mm.
just like, oh God, it's happening again, and I can't cope because in a good way. So first of all, I'm so hyped about the new album by Mole, which is coming out next year. I still need to get my tickets to see them in London. Love them, love them, love them, love them. That could be a whole other episode.
Mm.
Um, but also again, it's been a Danish deluge, I'm gonna call it. Cold Night for Alligators are dropping new singles. Ivy Crown have yeah, Ivy Crown. Ivy Crown have finally come back with a new single as well. They are an all-female Danish group. Um, and then not Danish, but someone who a band who have now been hinting at new material is Port Noir. And it was Port Noir and Cold Night for Alligators that released the last albums in the same year. And it looks like it's going to happen again next year or the
They've
end of this year.
synchronized
Oh,
their album releases. Yeah.
and I just can't cope with it. I mean, in a good way.
Mm, mm,
I'm just
mm.
like, oh no, this is going to be amazing. So I've been, oh, and I've just seen that, gosh, what are they? Slamming metal, deathcore, something heavy. An extreme metal band called Perdition are releasing their new EP on Halloween. So I'm really looking forward to giving that a spin. So literally just seeing it on social media, that announcement. But yeah, so maybe singles for me, maybe just me be going, just like Denmark just produces so many good bands, and I really need to get there and just see everyone. Um, and so it's just me not being able to cope with all the same bands as
So
before releasing stuff at
Metal
once.
Man's Danish Christmas at Halloween, basically.
Yes.
Um, and see, it's ringing true what I said a couple of weeks ago about all of the good stuff coming out at the end of the year.
Yep.
Because a lot of bands are kind of settling their touring plans for next year. So they'll start to drop little singles and things like that, and album releases. So it's always fresh in kind of reviewers' minds
Yep.
about end of year.
Yep.
Um, I've been trying to put together my starting to put together my end of year sort of
Gosh.
list, I suppose.
I just can't believe we're
Um,
at that point already.
Clocks went back last night, so we are well
I
and truly
mean,
in the
I'm
dark
still in
season.
2005.
Yeah. Does it go back to our favorite years?
Yes.
So yeah, good. Any album releases or anything that's are just those singles that have been kind of floating your boat over the last couple of
Well, I've
weeks?
as of this morning, I'm now the proud owner of the CDs of the Tron soundtrack, obviously Trent
Oh,
Reznor.
the Trent Reznor one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Better soundtrack than film.
I'm not
I
even gonna
am
watch the
I am
film.
told, yeah. When you're selling the soundtrack over the film itself, you know that there's a problem.
Yeah.
I'll just
And
wait
then
till it's
the
free somewhere to watch. So
I just probably won't ever watch it. I'll just listen to the
yeah, yeah,
soundtrack.
yeah.
And then the second CD I bought today was Swangus Nog.
Oh, you
Oh
mean
God.
Sangue Sugar Bog? Sangue Sugar Bog. Yes. I don't even know if I'm
It's
saying that right. So
they're like the Benedict Cumberbatch of metal.
yeah, yeah. I did also get that
It's,
CD.
it's um it sounds of while I'm just looking it up, I can't even Google their name.
Yeah, yeah.
While I'm looking them up, I had a very pleasant trip to Brixton Academy in the week as well to see Coheed and Cambria. So
Uh,
I do like them. I do have their albums. I am a fan, not a hardcore fan, but it's my boyfriend's favorite band. So it was really nice to see them live. And actually, they're bloody brilliant. But the supports as well. And so I Watch You From Afar, who were stunning as expected, and also Unpeople. And that's my second time seeing Unpeople. I saw them the first time this year at Download, but I think they're essentially Press Tomiko. I think they've just kind of come back. Is that? I'm gonna have to Google that as well. I can't even spell
Sanguine Sugar Bog. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. How was it being back at Brixton Academy? Because that was closed for a long time, wasn't it?
Yes. Who are Unpeople in here? Oh, fun fact about Unpeople. In George Orwell's 1984, a novel that takes place in dystopian future, people who are deemed dangerously subversive by the government are declared unpeople.
Oh, well, there you go.
Anyway,
Yeah.
um, I have only ever been to Brixton Academy once before, and that was
Okay.
to see Mastodon, Dillinger Escape Plan, and Red Fang, and I hated it when I went, and I never been
Mm,
back until now. I hated it because
mm.
I was really cramped in the crowd. There was people like smoking weed in front of me, and it was just security was just a bit naff. And this was like long before you know the the
The
tragedy that
event.
happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah.
event. And I just really didn't feel the venue. You know when you just don't like a venue. Anyway, I
Yeah, yeah,
hated it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
never went
yeah,
back. And then but my boyfriend, that's like his favorite venue. So when his favorite band announced the show at his favorite venue, I was like, oh, I just need to
yeah. You've
suck it up
got to
and go.
go. Yeah, yeah,
But I had a very pleasant experience. I think we're at the age now where we're just standing at the back,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we stood at the back, and I had a great time. It sounded great. I could see the band, see the stage. The crowd were great. It's all very clear that the majority of Coheed fans are elder millennials, and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
a really funny
Everyone was
observation.
terribly well behaved.
Yeah, so, we all probably tucked ourselves up in bed like immediately after the
Mm,
show.
mm,
But
mm.
it's definitely the highest ratio of uh of uh gig goers wearing the band's merch. So I've never seen
Yeah.
so many people wearing their merch as I have at another gig. And I love that because I am one of those where I always, this could be a whole other episode, but
Mm.
I wear the band's merch to a gig and I don't see it being a problem.
I,
Especially if I'm seeing an opening band and then,
okay.
you're kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
parading that you're there
yeah,
to, you're cool because you want to see the opening
yeah.
band.
Because
But
I know the support. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I
so I
think I've
didn't.
softened to it over the years. I don't really, yeah, I don't really mind. I've always got this running joke that I want to do this thing where I'll turn up at a big festival show or big stadium show, and I'm like decked up in head to toe in say Iron Maiden merch, hat, t-shirt, socks, the full work jacket. Get right down the front just as they're about to start, and then I'm just like nudging the guy next to me, nudging him, and he goes, "What? What?" I was like, "Who's this? Who's on stage?" Just see what
It'd be
happens.
like when people wear like all Greg's clothes.
Oh
It'd
God,
just be
not
like
them people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's only one thing that Greg's is good for, and that's their caramel donuts.
that.
But
I
again,
just
that's this.
I
This is a
pretend to like
metal
the sausage
podcast.
rolls. Anyway, yeah, not a. I am quite hungry. Anyway,
Yeah,
but yeah, so
I saw Pantera at Brixton Academy in I think 2001 with Satyricon and
oh
Kill
my
to This.
goodness.
Yeah. and it was the most frightening pit I'd ever been in. Um, Great fun though, great fun, but that was the one time I had to get out of the pit because I was like,
Oh my
I might
gosh.
die in here.
Yeah.
And
I think the reason why I really hated Brixton Academy is I blacked out at that Macedon show. I think it
yeah,
just the
yeah.
crowd got too much. I suddenly I don't know if I was having a panic attack or something, but I blacked out. But that was the period of my life where I was blacking out at gigs. I don't know. I grew out of that, thankfully.
It's
But no, I had a
fun
much
times.
pleasant yeah, had a much more pleasant time. Curry Heat were great, really wholesome vibes.
Good,
But yeah,
good,
so yeah, that's been my time. Curry Heat and Danish bands.
good couple of weeks. Yeah, I made
Yeah.
a list of everything I've been listening to over the last couple of weeks. Some real surprises actually. Like I really like the new Soulfly album, and I'm like, what's wrong with me? It's they've not. I've not really listened to anything they've done since the first record. But it is really good.
Yeah, Self-Light always left me a bit cold.
I feel like Max
Like,
Cavalera is in a renaissance period,
mm.
basically. Like he looks healthy, he's lost loads of weight, he's playing guitar again. And like he involves his son a lot, which I think is cool. I think that's a good thing.
Oh, is that
Um,
Richie from
yeah, I think
Insight?
and Zion, I think is
Oh, is that
another
another
one
son? Oh,
that's
I don't know.
yeah.
Because I've met
Part of the
Richie.
Cavalera family,
Yeah,
basically.
I've met Richie quite a few years ago when I saw Insight opening for Cancer Bats, and oh my God, the Insight guys were just so lovely, and
Mm,
Richie
mm,
was just so kind, signing CDs to everyone, just like well up for like just meeting everyone at the end of the show. So yeah, but
yeah.
if he's nice, nice, I'm sure the rest of the family's nice.
Yeah, yeah. So Soulfly is really good. What else? Tombs. I really like that new Tombs album. That is on Redefining Darkness. Um,
I completely missed that they were even bringing something out.
and it's really good. Really,
Right,
really
okay.
good. Just production stepped up. Really just great chuggy riffs. The new Coroner record as well. Now they were kind of I'm not a big thrash fan. I'm not a big thrash guy, but I do really like kind of technical thrash, so more kind of like
Mm.
Voivod and um that sort of family tree, I suppose, of like really early Meshuggah, which was like thrash ultimately, and then Coroner, Voivod, bands like that. So I was really glad to see Coroner releasing a new album, and I think it's been something like 30 years since their last 32 years, I think, since their last
My
record.
goodness.
And they've just gone from, you know, just stepped it up again as if they've not been away. Um, and I saw them in Bloodstock in 2012, and they were great. And I'm just really glad that they're kind of back on the scene and back making records again. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, I had a
Um,
friend who sent me a screenshot of him listening to it, and when he was like, "You'd hate these, but I love them," and I'm like, "Oh, I will, I will give them a go. Yeah,
I don't know
I'll
if you'd
give them a
hate it.
go."
I'd just say give it a go. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's because I always make a thing about I just hate thrash.
They're an old man band, to be fair. I mean, they have been going for 40 years probably. So I do, you know, I suppose that reformation appeals to different people, and it definitely appeals to me. Biohazard as well. I mean, they've just released their first record since 2007, I
They've
think.
just
So
kept churning out the live shows. I don't
yeah,
think they've
yeah,
ever
yeah,
stopped
yeah,
touring. They've always
yeah.
just played.
And that's a record that really sort of sounds like their sort of peak era stuff. So Censor is another one as well. Like I don't know how familiar you are with Censor, but they were back in the 90s. They were one of those kind of like you know they were sort of marketed as Britain's version of Rage Against the Machine, which was totally off base, but they were kind of rap, metal, political lyrics, all of that type of stuff. Really appealed to the the Grebo scene, which is a real thing. You know, bands like Pop Will Eat Itself and Ned's Atomic Dustbin, like weird, 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 very distinctly British stuff, basically. Uh, but that Censor record's really good. Um, I really want to talk about my favorite because we talked about Sangue's Sugar Bog, which
And I
is
couldn't even Google how to pronounce it
no,
because I can't
no,
even
no,
spell the name.
which is amazing. And oh God, that band have stepped up their game. Like
Yeah.
I didn't like that last record. Didn't like it.
I bought it and I listened to it kind of ironically, and I was like, "Oh, this is so silly."
Yeah,
And then
but
now this one, I'm just like, "Oh God, okay,
yeah, they
we should have taken them seriously, or maybe
yeah,
they've taken themselves seriously now. I don't know."
this is a real contender for album of the year, I think. And we were saying actually just before I pressed record that I feel like they're a band that's going to regret their choice of band name as they, you know, get more and more popular and maybe mature in sound and
Mm.
things like that.
But
Um,
would they have gained traction without that name?
oh, that's a good question. I would say, who knows? Who knows? That is a good question. I mean, to be fair, I have been following their trajectory, their career, because I did want to get hold of their like years ago when that first came out, and I am gonna Google this myself. Um, when their first EP came out, and I did try to buy it, um, but it was quite difficult to get hold of. What was it called? Oh yeah, Pornographic Seizures. So it was like I do kind of follow the kind of underground death metal stuff. So I would have been I was definitely aware of it when it came out. But um, I kind of I don't have much patience for that kind of slightly they like it's fun. They call it like low IQ caveman shit, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fun, it is, but it's a very American kind of way of presenting their and it does kind of encourage a lot of like the beat down mosh type stuff, which I do not abide. Um, so it's that balance, but this
It's
really does appeal to like the death metal heads and like um so I hope that they kind of continue on in that direction really.
There's been many people saying it's a album of the year contender.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when I was going through my list or my sort of in draft list already, there are some. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to choose.
I've lost track of what's come out this year, so I'm gonna have to just go back and just be like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
stuff I
this year's
completely forgot
flown.
was
Yeah.
this year release, and I was like, oh, that was 2025. Yeah,
Yeah. It's like this year's just flown by. We've also been really long, but I think I've also been really enjoying a lot of mainstream metal stuff. I will just disclose that I've really been enjoying the new Baby Metal album.
there's no shame here,
No,
Mance.
it's
There is
just
no shame
my
here.
goodness. What a good time. What a
Yeah,
good time.
yeah.
And obviously I'm a huge Electric Callboy fan and their song with Electric Callboy is amazing. But their track with Tom Morello, um, and um Poppy, honestly, that opener with Poppy, incredible.
She's
Just
great. I really like Poppy's stuff. And again, I have zero shame there. I bought quite a few of her albums since I Disappear. I can't remember what it's
yeah.
called now. Whatever, the 2019 one that was like the metal one,
Yeah.
basically. So that's really good. And one more bit I want to talk about before we shift on to our next subject is Bonginator, called Retro Death. Oh my God, it's so good. Another band that I'm like, what is it with these names? Come on, gents, like sort it out. But it is a perfect mix of like sci-fi. So you know, like the concept of Coffin Feeder, the band Coffin
Yeah.
Feeder, like their
Yeah, yeah,
last
yeah. Oh yeah.
record was going to be like very like sci-fi film orientated, very influenced by action films and stuff like that, and had that vibe. That was out this year, by the way. I forgot that
Yes.
when I
No,
was,
no,
yeah,
that's firmly up there for me this
yeah,
year.
yeah. So Bonginator have gone. It's the same sort of influence, but what's different is it's got all these like synthwave and film samples and
Right.
like amazing electric drums, like genuinely, and like the whole record. It's about 45 minutes long, and it all just flows together. But there's like amazing groovy death metal riffs. There's like slam stuff, and then but it's all like weaved in these like synthwave passages and these like electric drum breaks and stuff like that. It is fucking awesome. It is
Oh,
so good.
yeah,
So
no,
yeah,
I
that
might
that's
have to check that
if
out.
anything, that's Beardodoom's recommendation of the week is Bonginator Retro Death. So yeah, thoroughly. Yeah, so it's been a packed couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has.
Now let's sort of move forward to what we're
The
going to
next
be
couple of
doing in the
weeks.
next couple of weeks. And at time of recording, we will be on day two of the 20th anniversary of Damnation Festival up in Manchester. And that's why we're wearing our Damnation related merchandise.
Yeah. I'm wearing
Now,
2017. That was my first year that I went, and it's still my favorite year, I think. Bloodbath, Nails. Um, who did I go for? I can't read my back. It's all on the
I mean,
back.
that'll do. Bloodbath and Nails would be
Yeah.
sufficient. Now this is a triple A pass that I had from 2023. And like it's one of those things like I did get it, but I'm not entirely sure I should have had it. My mate was doing driving at the time, and he was driving a lot of the bands around. And he's just like, "Dude, you come into Damnation?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, of course." And he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna be there. I'll see you at the gate." I had a ticket and everything. He was just like, "Here, have these," and he just gave me a triple A pass for the day. And that was the year Julie Christmas played, and as a Julie Christmas fanboy, I was hoping to get introduced to her, but I didn't. It didn't happen. But yeah, it was great. I sort of wandered around backstage, and I was just like, "Oh, am I?"
Just like an important. You
Yeah.
should put high vis on.
Oh yeah, high vis. Wear a high vis. You can be
Yeah.
anywhere you like.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, so this would be my first time going to Damnation since he's moved back to Manchester. I haven't been to Damnation since 2019. Um, so yeah, I've only been 3 years of my life, but I am curious to see how it's different because what I love about Leeds, it being in Leeds, was the smaller rooms. Um, and I know that when they announced that they were moving back to Manchester, they were like, "Oh, well, just think about the biggest room at Leeds is actually the same size as our smallest room in Manchester." And I'm like, "Oh no," because I'm not really a big room kind of gal. So I was a bit put
yeah,
off
it's
by
a
that.
it's a big old it is a big old warehouse. Now I don't have any reference point because I didn't go to Damnation when it was in Leeds. And
Oh.
actually, I've only been for the last. This will be my third year now.
What's it been
I,
my
I
fourth?
I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why I didn't go. I mean, looking back at some of the lineups, I think that because I think they pulled Carcass in quite early on their like Reformation. Um, they've had some good headliner slots where they've done full albums. I think there was a
Yeah.
Converge full album.
I definitely would have been there last year if I wasn't in New Zealand, just purely for that Bleeding Through set. But as we talked about last episode, didn't even play This Is Love, This Is
Nah,
Madness
that
in
was
full.
an absolute scam. That was. There were a lot. I remember being in the crowd, and everyone's like, this is not. This is not
This
what
isn't
was
what was
advertised."
advertised.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't get tickets for Night of Salvation.
No, but I still think that we should just mill about the venue, looking sad and seeing if
Or,
we could,
or we can do the whole "Don't you know who I am?"
yeah. We're podcasters now. Can't you should let us in.
I'm a
Um,
content creator.
yeah. I see if my AAA pass from 23 still works today, in
Oh
25.
dear.
Yeah, we'll try that. I feel confident we will find a way in, one way or the other. So,
I say we
um,
get high vis and we just walk in. We
well, what
just
we could
walk into
do,
Mordor.
not walk in, just get ourselves one of those, ramps that they used to get into the Louvre
Yeah.
with a high vis vest.
Get one of those ladder lifts. Yeah.
As soon as we're in, just take the high vis off, you're in. So
We're in. Yeah.
yeah. So let's talk about the lineup. Now let's talk about the lineup. Who are you looking forward to seeing, MetalMance?
What I was looking forward to see.
Yeah,
I was looking forward to seeing crippling alcoholism, but as of yesterday, they've cancelled.
they have cancelled. Yes, yes.
And what was their reason? Financial
Financial
miscalculations.
financial mismanagement, let's call it. No, they
Yeah.
did use the phrase miscalculations. Yeah, I think, just getting the elephant in, let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. That was, to me, a really good announcement. It was one of the reasons I think both of us got tickets. Um,
It was because I think I've seen Napalm Death at Damnation before, not
mm,
fussed about corrosion of conformity. A lot of the other bands I've seen at Damnation, and I'm like, yeah. And it
yeah,
takes a lot for me to get to Manchester. Like, it would
yeah,
take really special bands for me to make the pilgrimage to Manchester. And then, but as soon as I announced crippling alcoholism, I was like, okay, no, that is going to be special. That
I,
is
I, I
that
agree.
could
Yeah,
that could have potentially been one of their legendary sets later on.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I still talk about Nails from 2017 because that was wild. You know, the whole Julie Christmas Cult of Luna
Hmm.
set, but I
Hmm.
didn't witness. But it's in Damnation Legend. That
Hmm.
crippling alcoholism set could have been this year's legendary set. And
I have no
I'm
doubt. Yeah,
convinced, yeah, I am convinced that they would have been the band or like the surprise band. I
yeah,
forget, I'm really passionate about this.
yeah.
And I think them cancelling, I mean, yeah, it's a very, very, very valid reason for them. You know, it's the tariffs with UK being expensive to bring merchandise in and tour. You know, it's I mean, the music industry at the moment, it's like a disaster for touring
Mm,
bands, I
mm.
think. It's valid. There's six of them. They want to be responsible. I guess I don't want to make a big loss. However, I think for I think as we've said in a couple of episodes ago, they are so like in tune with their fans. You know, like
Mm.
there's a clip of me on them one of their music videos. Um, and they do all their Instagram lives and they really interact with fans. But yet now think about it, before that cancellation announcement, they hadn't really been active. They hadn't really posted anything. So it's like if I don't know, I'm just kind of got my rose tinted glasses on here, but I feel like if they were just really honest with fans, like from I don't know, I feel
Yeah,
like this is
I
so
think,
late in the day to cancel because of
mm,
financial
mm.
miscalculations.
From a sort of industry perspective on it, I think they've probably said as much that they can say. Um, and I think, kind of putting myself in the band's shoes, they know that a lot of people are going to be really pissed off about it. I think that they maybe should have tried at least to play Damnation, just purely for the exposure. And as you said about the sort of, it had the potential to be one of the great, Damnation Festival shows, and now it's just not happening.
Mainly
like
because, they are really gaining traction. The hype that they're getting, there's
mm,
no other band quite like them. They're
mm,
quite I see them as that quite a dangerous band. I see them as still
mm,
quite unpredictable. Like we couldn't really guess how that new album was going to shape up, and it's
mm.
incredible. And
Yeah,
it's
and
just
Cam Girl's going to be on a lot of people's like end of year lists as
yeah.
well. So yeah, this is personal opinion, as I always stipulate. Other opinions are available. I think it is a mistake. I think it's going to be potentially quite difficult to. Well, I say that the internet's a very fickle place. It will be forgotten about. But I think it's not the best move to have made.
I think as fans, so many of our fans have invested in them. And I know I'm going to go back to that first episode, Beardo, when you said Patton doesn't owe me anything.
Mm,
Crippling
mm,
alcoholism don't owe us anything.
mm,
But I think at this stage in their career where they're really gaining momentum and they've got such passionate fans,
mm,
like, you're not just a crippling alcoholism fan, you are a fan. Like you
mm,
really
mm,
believe in what they're
mm.
doing. And I just feel like the fans have really invested in them. I've invested in it. You and me, we probably wouldn't have booked a Damnation ticket if it wasn't for that
Yeah,
announcement.
yeah, yeah.
We could have saved a few hundred quid between us
Hmm.
if, hotels, train travel, a
Yeah, and we're
Damnation
only
ticket.
traveling up, by train. Like it's,
Yeah,
but there's going to be people flying in for that. It's like their first. It would have been their first show on like
yeah.
British or European soil. So, yeah, uh,
The
bit of
gatekeeper
a
in me is like, oh no, now I'm going to miss out on their first European show or their first
yeah,
European festival
because they're
appearance.
quite happy to play Roadburn.
Yes, and this is what bothers me. Sorry, we're cancelling Damnation and our UK tour, but we're still playing Roadburn. So, how are the circumstances going to be different for them to be able to play Roadburn? Is there something they're not telling us? Because I don't know. I don't know if I'm just really sensitive about
Yeah.
it. But
I think the Roadburn point of view to me is there's an element of prestige, a different kind of prestige that
hmm,
damn it, I don't know why, like because I think Roadburn does have that kind of slight prestigious
Roadburn gets a lot of the kind of reunion
mm,
bands, and what didn't Kyle Lesser do their reunion there?
hmm.
And then Oathbreaker
Yeah,
coming
probably
back.
next year. Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's just properly bummed me out because I think, if I'm being brutally honest, as much as I love Damnation, there's so many like I've said before, so many bands that are on that bill this year have played Damnation before.
Mm,
And then
mm,
it's really Crippling Alcoholism that was really offering something
mm.
very different, very fresh. I mean, thankfully, the Ted Moore
Well, they've only
special
got come
appearance is
up the
coming.
road. It's not going to cost them any money. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to accept it as a fan.
yeah,
They
yeah,
don't owe us anything. It's one of those things. They need to do what's best for them. But
yeah.
as a fan who has invested my own money into seeing them, it's quite frustrating.
I don't disagree. Let's talk about the good stuff.
Yeah.
So what do your days look like? Because I think we've got very different selections
Yeah,
over the
I
Saturday
think
and the
we're gonna
Sunday.
be.
So
Yeah, so I was looking at a Saturday and Sunday, and I was like, we are literally just gonna see each other in the Uber there and the Uber
yeah,
back.
be
Hang
like,
on, I'm
see you
just pulling it
later.
up.
Yeah.
We'll kind of wave at each other in passing. Um, where the day splits. Hang on, just get up on the old Insta. Um, oh, that's the thing as well. Is crippling alcoholism going to be on all the merch? That's going to be really sad.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe you should buy some because they're on there.
Yeah, be like, I saw them.
Mm, mm.
So, on the Saturday, Overhead the Albatross, I'm going to check out. I only checked them out on YouTube like a few weeks ago. Um, and they are right up my street, kind of the old post rock influence. But there is something really special about them. I can't quite put my finger on it, but when I listened to them, they honestly just my brain just felt really fuzzy. It
Mm.
was they're going to be a good time. Um, and then I never know if you pronounce it Ghost or Gost, Ghost.
I
I
imagine that
s-
it's pronounced ghost. I
Ghost,
would
yeah,
think, yeah.
but not that
Um,
Ghost. But I
oh
saw
yeah, that's a good
Ghost.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Ghost in the after party in Damnation 2019, and it was incredible. And I just can't wait to see them again properly. And then after that, it's going to be The World is a Beautiful Place, and I am no longer afraid to die. Rome, I can't say it. Wormrot, um, Death Heaven, and
Yeah.
then I don't know. I might just chill out for Corrosion of Conformity. I might pop my head in, or I might just sit down on the floor.
The fact that the headliners start at 11, just I'm like
Yeah.
that's too far for my
The
bedtime. So
the year of this tank top, when Bloodbath were on at 11, my back ached so much I could only see two or three songs,
mm,
and
mm,
then I had to
mm.
leave. So I was like, well, that was my main band I wanted to see him, and I couldn't actually stand up to see him.
So
But I
I,
imagine we're going to be kind of high-fiving in different directions.
yeah, our days are very very different. So I talk about kind of what I've got booked in. I want to see Necrot 1:05
Yeah.
on the Saturday. I want to see some of Castle Rat actually. I feel just to kind of watch them because I know that they're
Oh, I have just
sort of
twigged who they are because I think I've literally just
they're fronted by the girl that looks like she
yes,
was ripped out
yeah,
of Conan the Barbarian.
yeah. No, I will join you for that one. I literally just saw like an article about them last week, and everyone saying give them a chance. They're
Mm,
amazing. Give
yeah,
them a
yeah,
chance. Don't just put them down as a gimmick band. I will join you for that one.
yeah. Castle Rat, and then my first real I have to see this is Dead Guy, which will be for the third time. All at Damnation Festival that I've seen them. So I will be down the front losing my mind to Dead Guy, having a wonderful time. Now, the benefit of crippling alcoholism having cancelled is I now also get to see Portrayal of Guilt
Yeah,
because they were playing at the same time. Uh,
considering they were on their label.
yeah,
Usually
so
the
yeah, I
worst
don't know
clash
how that
ever.
was gonna. Yeah, what a mess that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, can't wait. I love Portrayal of Guilt. So really looking forward to seeing them. Uh, I'm then going to go for Brodquin or Brodiquin. I don't know how to pronounce it. The death metal band. And then I've got Death Heaven,
Yeah, well,
who
we'll see each other that for that one.
yeah, that'll be the second time that I've seen them this year actually, and they were really great when I saw them in Brighton. Then Wormrot. Now Wormrot will be good because they're back to original lineup,
Mm.
and I've not seen them with original lineup since their first 2008 was it when Abuse came out, and then I've kind of left the evening open. Now I sort of want to see Gera, and I've never seen Corrosion of Conformity, but like I'll be honest, I don't want to be at a gig at 11 o'clock. I don't. So I'm just gonna have to see how that plays out.
I'll probably pop my head into, I can never say the name, yeah, that'd
Perturbator.
be a
Yeah,
good time. I could
I
probably,
think that will be a really good time. Yeah,
and I'd probably
um,
pop my head into High on Fire as well.
yeah. I mean,
Maybe Messer.
the good thing with the big warehouse setup is you can get to wherever you need to be really quickly. So and there's such a vast open space for the main stage. So it's not a case of like, oh, well, you try and get in. There's plenty of space there.
Any
So
bands
have you
you
done
are
your
avoiding?
not? No, I'm never really offended by I yeah, nothing. I suppose orbit culture. I mean, people keep
Yes.
I keep hearing
Like,
that name, but I'm like, I
oh,
don't.
I've bit of a funny story. I've seen Orbit Culture before, and that was when they just released an EP or an album. This is like the beginning of their career,
Mm.
and I saw them support Black Crown Initiate, Mole, and Rivers of Nile, and they were on
Well,
first,
that's a
and
good
I
lineup.
didn't. Oh, it was a dream lineup, apart from Orbit Culture. um,
Yeah.
and I remember reviewing their debut release, and honestly, it. I don't know if they're still the same now, just because I can't bring myself to listen to them. But that release, the riffs and the heavy vocals are astonishing.
Mm.
But
Mm.
then for me, they just completely lost me when they brought in like the James Hetfield, like just yeah
Okay,
vocals,
right. Yeah, sort
and
of
that's when they lost
clean.
me. And then
Yeah,
when I
yeah.
saw them live, that was probably their first UK tour. I saw them live, and I'm like, this is just terrible.
Mm.
I
Mm.
remember doing a live review and being quite slating.
Mm.
Um,
Well, I had
and
one person recently tell me that I need to listen to them because they sound like strapping young lad. And then I had another person telling me I've gone to see Orbit Culture and it just sounds like Trivium. And I'm like,
yeah,
well, they can't that can't be
yeah,
the same thing.
no.
Like, or
And
maybe it
then
can. I don't know. Maybe it can.
I reviewed one of their early albums, and I'm just like, just hasn't got better for me. And I've just never
Mm.
given them the time since, and they've just got huge. But I don't know if they got huge because they sound like Trivium. But
There's no
my
accounting for mass taste,
But I just
metal
think I'm like,
mance.
yeah, I know for a fact that they read my live review when I was like just slagging them off basically. Because I think back then I still used to share my reviews with bands directly.
Mm.
Um, and I still wonder if they think about my review when I'm just like, this band are awful, they'll
Hey,
never
but
amount to anything. And now
to be
they're
fair,
playing.
they proved you wrong.
But
So,
also, I'm still, I'm, s- I'm still adamant that they're just not very good.
okay, so we'll avoid that. Now, have we discussed Sunday? I don't think
No,
we
we
went through your
haven't.
Sunday, have we? We haven't even got there. So,
Because
um,
I'm just so slagging off orbit culture again.
um, and
Oh,
we'll do Sunday, and then I'm going to ask a question, which I think I'm going to know the answer to, and then
okay.
we can discuss that. So, what does your
Okay.
Sunday look like?
So Sunday is rammed for me.
Hmm.
Um, Ted Moore.
Yeah,
Um, I'd love to see Hidden Mothers, but I think they clash with someone else. I haven't got the clash bit up on my phone. I would also like to see Din of Celestial Birds. And then I think Nordic Giants clash with someone, but because I've seen Nordic Giants twice before and I last saw them in December, I'll probably give them a miss at Damnation because they're still quite fresh in my mind. I must see Devil Sold His Soul. Um, I will try and catch Conjurer. I think I will because they're opening, aren't they?
yeah,
Um, I'd like to see Hell Ripper. And then after that, and now Nathrak, Pig Destroyer, and actually apart from crippling alcoholism, the band that made me buy a ticket was The Haunted.
okay, interesting.
Love,
Yeah,
love The Haunted. Actually, it's like mid-noughties Haunted. I love.
mm, mm,
And then I'll watch Napalm Death if my back
yeah.
allows me to at the end of the day.
Yeah, so are you, when it comes to the Haunted, are you more a Peter Dolving, the Haunted fan, or Marco Arro, the Haunted fan?
Yeah, it's like the God, what's the album called? The whole era
One
when it's
One
like,
Kill Wonder. That was
my God, what's the album with like the X-ray of the head on it?
more.
And I call myself a
Open it up
fan.
open it up on Spotify. I've never seen the Haunted. They're on my list as well, so I'm definitely going to go
But
and
yeah,
see
so
them.
they, apart from crippling alcoholism, the Haunted are like my band to see
Yeah.
in the whole
Um.
festival.
So
Yeah.
my Sunday goes Ted Mall at midday. Ted Moore at midday. What? Conjurer, Onslaught, for some good old British thrash. Stamping Ground. Now that's going to be my pick my pit band for Sunday is Stamping Ground. So I'm gonna hang out with all of the grey hairs in there. Actually, all the kids will be in because of Officer Down. But yeah, I'll be in with all the grey hairs there. And then Piggy D, good old Pig Destroyer, which
You
would be
know,
great.
oh, and obviously, I think I've planned this in my head. I think we should try and get a photo of both of us doing the whole meme thing for Pod Destroyer.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then yeah, Anal Nathrak, Author and Punisher. I can't wait to see because I
yeah.
love that new record
Yeah, I'll
so
probably, if they
much.
don't clash with anyone, I'll probably come and see them with you.
And then The Haunted, so we'll hang out with The Haunted. Uh, Spectral Wound, and then again, I've left the rest of the evening kind of free. Now I'm gonna have a confession time on here. Like Napalm Death is one of my favorite bands, like by far. I have all of their stuff in triplicate, basically. Uh, Live, I don't really rate them these days.
Do you know? I
No.
think when I saw them at Damnation, I was so tired and I was probably just really, really drunk and so drunk that I was sobering up.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. And you've
I
got to make
actually
that
don't
choice
remember.
of one more beer or go, and it's always
I
go.
actually
Yeah,
don't remember the set.
yeah, yeah. I saw them, funny enough, this year, earlier in the year at Electric Brixton, not Brixton Academy, with Brat, who were amazing.
Yes.
Um, yeah, Napalm. That was a really good lineup, but I can't remember who else was on it now. That's going to annoy me. But yeah, I was like, okay, I've seen Napalm again. They play everything these days three times as fast as it is on the record. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear the riffs. Give me the riffs. Um, so I will, I mean, this is it. Like, is there a potential that they do like a real special like set or something? But if it's just a Napalm Death set, I'll be like, sod it, let's go. Um, Now, I think the crippling alcoholism thing, and I don't want to labor it too much, but I think it's important. Like, I think every time there is a festival, you go to a festival, there's always a band that you didn't plan to watch, and you just stumble upon them, and you're like, "Fuck! I'm so glad I saw that." Um, I am not sure that exists now with this lineup. Um,
Right, yeah.
but I don't know. What's your view?
I I've checked out most of the bands on the bill, so I don't feel like I'm going to get that surprise. However, you just putting that out there. Now, people who know me are going to be sick to the back teeth of hearing this story again. But you saying about how you just stumble into a random set on a festival and just ending up being blown away by a band. That's how I discovered Discarnate.
Okay, yeah,
Tech Fest 2017. I was absolutely pissed out my mind, and they they hadn't yet released their last album. What's it called? With All Their Might.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and I just stood there like, huh? And it
yeah,
was like
yeah.
the most ballsy death metal I've ever heard. It was
God, I
just
love
the
that
three of
record.
them. Yeah, it was
So
just,
good. We've had lots of conversations about that record over the years, haven't we? And where have they gone? Like
oh,
they
don't.
could have been blown up, and you know,
Whoa, who was it from Lamb of God? He was like, oh my God, this Garnet are great. Check them out. I'm gonna get them involved. I think one of them ended up moving to Amsterdam, and I think the other two just, I don't know.
yeah.
Apparently,
Chris from Lamb of God, I think it was the
yeah,
drummer who no longer
it was
drums
a
with
drummer,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, and I saw Discarnate with uh Based. Do you call them
Yes,
Based? Yeah,
with Zach Decapitated as well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was at that show as well. I was
But
right at the
I
front.
saw it in Brighton at the Concord.
Oh no, I was
But
like, that was at London Islington.
yeah, and
Incredible
we
gig.
we we hung out with Chris actually in the bar. He was going to be managing He was going to be managing Discarnate, and then they've kind of
Oh,
disappeared off the face of the earth, which is a real shame.
oh, it's such a shame. But I'll come back to that in a minute. But yeah, so Tech Fest 2017, absolutely pissed. Just standing there going, "Oh God, this is incredible. This is like the best thing I've ever heard." But I couldn't
Mm,
get over like they were like, "Oh, this is our new song," and you could tell that the new stuff had like a lot of blackened influences. And
mm,
what I really loved was that there was just three of them. Like they had no tattoos. They just wore
hmm.
plain black shirts. They were
They were
just getting it done. And
nice young
I
lads
really,
from Horsham. Like, yeah, yeah, totally
I
agree.
remember I so afterwards. Now I don't know if you ever went to Tech Fest, but you had the two hangars, and then in the middle hangar, that's where the merch area was, and they that was the year, but they still had a basic record stand, and so I spent like 80, 90 pounds on CDs because
Mm.
I was really drunk and I was just like take my money, and I like carried all these CDs to the Discarnate merch stand, and I was so pissed. And I like bought like their CDs and T-shirts and then I was like, oh my God, you're just incredible. I loved the black and stuff that, then your new stuff, blah 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 blah. Anyway, so then they were like, oh thanks, they were so nice. Because I must have just been like anyway, so I then took all my basic CDs and Discarnate stuff away. And then I was kind of having a recce up of what I bought. And I was like, oh, I've left my Chon CD at the merch stand. Do you
Oh
remember
no.
Chon?
I
Um,
remember the name. Yeah, yeah,
anyway, I went back over and I was like, when you're drunk and you try to look for something. And I was like looking at the merch stand for my CD, and bless them, this Scarlet were like, "Are you okay?" They're really making sure I was all right. I was like,
yeah, yeah.
have I left a
Lost my
CD
CD.
here? And they were like, no, no, you haven't left anything here. And I'm like, oh no. And they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Anyway, it turned out I hadn't actually bought the CD, so I had to go back to the basic
Ah.
record stand and buy the CD. Um, but
Go on,
anyway,
beer.
they were just so I just can't get over just how kind they were
Mm,
and that they
mm.
were looking out for me like, are you okay? But anyway, then I reviewed with all their might and like I said, when I was blogging back then, I'd message bands directly and be like, hey, it was so great to meet you at Tech Fest. Here's my review of your album. They're like, oh yeah, it was really great to meet you too. And I'm like, oh God, I don't know if
Yeah.
they were just being polite or if they
I was at
remembered me
Smash
because I
Girl.
was so
Do you
embarrassing.
remember? Yeah, yeah.
Yes. But yeah, then yeah, seen them with Based and Decapitated. And again, I was at the very front of that show just going, like, this
Mm.
band are incredible. Like, I just can't get over the groove of their death metal. And it was just, I love that kind of, I'm not going to call it call and response, but the way they just kind of share the vocals between them
Yeah.
and the
The
way,
video off that album is so
yeah.
good. Like,
And they're just
it's
like
so good.
constantly vibing.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you're missing Discarnate, the band that are filling that void for me at the moment is a band called Mysticist,
Okay.
and they're ex-members of other bands. The vocalist Joey is from Eden to Exile, and Mysticist. Like when I heard that single, I messaged Joey and I was like, "Oh my God, you're like Discarnate," and he said, "Actually, Maria, it's like is I started Mysticist because we're not getting any new Discarnate." So
That is entrepreneurial. Is like,
yeah,
fill the gap.
yeah,
I mean, I think Celestial Sanctuary as well have got a lot of those kind of
yeah,
discarnate vibes.
yeah.
Just where it's just pure power, basically.
Just the
Um,
ballsy riffs, I'm calling
yeah,
it. But
yeah, yeah.
if you are missing Discarnate, on the new Fates Messenger EP, you got guest vocals from I can't remember which member of Discarnate it is. But funnily enough, Fates Messenger also features ex-members of Stamping Ground.
They
So
do,
it's
yeah,
all
yeah. And one of my old acquaintances, Charlie, she's on bass now as well, which is really cool. So
Yes,
I
yeah,
saw
she's
that
just
being
joined.
yeah, talked about
Yeah,
on
and
online.
the guitarist Ron was in a Romeo Must Die and The Son of the Crown. So it's all
Yeah.
just
I can't wait for
yeah.
Stamping Ground. I'm gonna get into real like I better go to the
Yeah,
gym, lift some weights
you
for a
need a
couple
warm
of
up.
weeks. Yeah, yeah, because yeah, that's gonna be absolute
Yeah.
carnage and I can't wait.
Speaking of festival cancellations that you have been gutted about? Any spring to mind from your festival days?
Oh, I mean, the biggest one was when I traveled to Germany to go to Wacken and was told not to go to Wacken because it was flooded. And
Oh no.
I'm already in Germany. Like, what am I supposed to do? But actually ended up having a really good time because we there were a lot of different shows that were on around the time. So we got to see Crowbar and Biohazard and stuff like that. Um, I would actually say it's the opposite. It's things that you didn't know were going to happen, like secret shows. So like Down, 2006 at Download when they opened the main stage at like half 12 on the Sunday. So you're like hungover, and I remember I was sat there with my mate. He was eating like jacket potato and beans, just watching Down like absolutely lay waste to Download in 2006. So that was fun. Um, I suspect I don't know. Hopefully, Damnation lineup is stable now. But it does happen. I think there is an element of kind of respecting that the industry has changed and it does cost money. Things are different, visas and what have you. I think there's also a bit more flakiness this time these days as well, where like I think bands are like, oh God, I don't want to get on the plane to go do this. So hopefully we don't have any, surprises um, on the day. Um, we still don't know what the Night of Salvation lineup is, apart from one band that may have accidentally said that they were playing it,
Yeah.
but isn't announced. And I'm not going to say who that band is in case nobody's seen it, but
But it's
um,
like when I saw Now and Thrack at Download this year, and I bought a t-shirt and it had all their tour dates of this year on it, and it had Damnation 2025, and I
mm,
was like, but they haven't been announced. And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and I was holding this t-shirt up, and I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna be a Damnation. And then they got announced, and I'm like, ah, yes.
I think the real shitter, like just thinking about what the worst case scenario would be, is if Crippling Alcoholism were one of the bands on A Night for Salvation and they were going to do like Cam Go in Fall or something, and now they're not.
Yeah.
So um, we'll see. It's gonna be a good time either way. It's gonna be fun hanging out with you because we have only hung out once physically. So yeah, it'll be good. Um, I will enjoy the Damnation beers. Um, I will get
Oh, but
myself
they're
a
gonna be
loose brews.
expensive as well.
Not compared to Sussex prices, they won't be. I'll be like, blimey, £6. This is an absolute bargain.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, and coming from Essex, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Mancunians around us will be like absolute rip-off, and I'll be walking around feeling like the big time, yeah, just like £6 pints. It always makes me laugh just how many, well, not laugh, but just because they sell the big two pinters,
Yeah.
and there's obviously Mancunian death metal dudes who are just chugging two pinters like they're just half pints basically, and they're all absolutely shit faced by 5 o'clock, and like they can't see any of the bands. So yeah, bit of pacing considering it's 2 days as well. Although
Yeah, I
having
think that's
said
gonna
that,
be that's gonna be a killer for me.
yeah. Well, Night of
Um,
Salvation the last 2 years was essentially made it a 2 day festival anyway, because
mm,
it was Friday, Saturday
yeah.
generally.
No, it's
So
Saturday, Sunday, Friday.
yeah, but I think if you are throwing a Night of Salvation into it as well, it will be a bit of effort. Um,
I'm just looking forward to the other festival goers because Damnation is like one of the only festivals that I've gone to where it hasn't been really cliquey and everyone is just so respectful
mm,
and there's been Damnations prior where I've just wandered around by myself and you just end up making like 10 new friends and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it's just really lovely, wholesome vibes. And I'm really hoping that experiencing it in Manchester is going to be the same.
yeah,
So
yeah. It was. I mean, it's great. Last 2 years, I've got my sort of northern crew that I'll bump into and say hi to while I stop there. There's lots of people down south that are coming as well, so it'll be a good old, acquaintance meet up basically.
yeah.
And it's going to be a good time.
Mm.
So, I think, yeah, wrap it up, I suppose. So,
Yeah.
Damnation in a couple of weeks.
Yay.
We're not doing an episode before Damnation. Um, I think. I don't know.
Well,
Are
we'll
we?
see. We're not going to say just yet. We've got
Yeah,
something in the
yeah, yeah.
works.
Okay, yeah. So there may be another episode, but
No,
definitely as
maybe
I keep.
not.
Oh, yeah. Just subscribe. That's all you need to do. If you subscribe, and also follow us on TikTok. And if you follow us on Instagram, all of the links are in the description. Then you'll find out what we're up to and when we're uploading episodes and what have you.
However,
Um,
are we still planning on doing a live episode post Damnation?
we are, and I think that'd be really good fun, even if it just ends up you and me just on this live anyway. But I'm gonna
We're
have
going to
a
be talking anyway.
Exactly. I'm gonna have a couple of beers, and so yeah, we'll try to do it on a Friday night. I'll have a couple
Yeah,
of beers. We'll talk about our damnation experience. We'll talk about the highs. We'll talk about the lows. Not there will be any lows. I
let's
just
hope not.
think gig disappointment basically what it will be. Um, and then yeah, so thank you very much for listening, everybody. It's been a pleasure having everybody's comments and stuff. So thank you so much for spending your time listening to us gab on about metal, um, which is still my favorite pastime anyway. So
Yeah, yeah. It's been a pleasure as always.
cool. I will catch you later on. Take care.
Pod Destroyer is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. MetalMance and Beardodoom are not trained professionals, and as such, it is positively encouraged to try this at home.